Larry Legend, what's
One thing
good,
I
bro?
do know,
I see you cooking these
I
dudes.
always knew how good I was.
Larry Bird showed Scottie Pippen who's boss. So yeah, we about to tune into that.
The Bulls were on a tear, 12-2 in their last 14 games, and Pippen was gaining confidence. But then he ran into Larry Bird, a man who didn't just beat you, he embarrassed you. On this night in 1988, Bird didn't just show Scottie and the Bulls who was boss. He schooled him, humiliated him, and made him question everything. This is the story of the night Larry Bird put Scottie Pippen in his place, and the brutal way he did it. Let's break it down. Right from the jump, Larry Bird was on a mission. He was slipping backdoor along the baseline, creating perfect looks for his teammates and orchestrating the Celtics offense. Meanwhile, Robert Parrish was putting on a clinic in the paint, spinning past Corzine for a smooth 2 points. Bird wasn't just a problem offensively, he was also a defensive menace, showing the kind of grit and hustle that had defined his recent stretch of games. Chicago finally broke through with a Jordan putback off a Vincent missed three-pointer, but Bird's off-ball movement was relentless. He was constantly slipping his defender, getting just enough separation to nail those mid-range pull-ups. While Bird was cooking, Kevin McHale was going to work in early offense, punishing the Bulls with his post-up game. For Chicago, Corzine was battling down low, keeping them in it with some solid work in the post. The Bulls also pushed the pace whenever possible, with Vincent finishing through contact on the break. But Bird was just starting. He found a passing angle at the paint, took full advantage of the space he created by slipping his man, and floated in another bucket. The Bulls tried to counter, with Sellers cleaning up on the offensive glass and making sure Chicago capitalized on their second chance opportunities. The Bulls were hanging tough early, with Jordan finding a cutting Oakley for a smooth layup. But on the other end, Bird was the engine. Off a sideline inbound, he used a pin down to get separation, rising up for a long two from the left corner. And when Boston pushed the tempo in transition, Bird showed off his court vision, going over the head to Parrish, who drove in for an easy bucket. Bird kept facilitating, this time finding a cutting Ainge along the baseline for a quick jumper. Boston's offense was flowing through Bird's playmaking, and McHale was thriving in the post, abusing the Bulls' defense with his footwork and touch. But Bird's facilitating was such a problem that the Bulls resorted to fouling to prevent easy looks under the basket.
Dang.
On the other end, Pippen was struggling to find his rhythm, misfiring on his mid-range shots. Meanwhile, Bird continued to dismantle Chicago's defense, driving inside and drawing the attention of multiple defenders, which opened up the lane for Parrish to slip in.
He was great at that.
Despite Bird's dominance, Jordan was doing his best to keep Chicago in the game, attacking off the dribble and pulling up from the nail to hit a touchdown.
Jordan's so tough.
Bird capped off his incredible first quarter with a putback buzzer beater, giving the Celtics a 33-27 lead heading into the second. Bird's fingerprints were all over this quarter, setting the tone for what was about to be a masterclass performance. Pippen was struggling right from the start of the second quarter. He was battling through screens, desperately trying to contain Bird, but all that effort only led to a foul on Bird. Chicago had no answers defensively, and McHale took advantage, hitting a smooth jumper over Pippen from the right elbow. However, Pippen was holding his own offensively. He pushed the pace, attacking the Boston defense before they could get set. But defensively, it was a different story. Bird was operating like a man possessed, effortlessly creating separation and draining those mid-range jumpers over Pippen. Pippen tried to counter by slipping along the baseline, finding his sweet spots on offense. But Boston's offense was firing on all cylinders. With Bird drawing so much defensive attention, Ainge slipped to the nail and splashed a clean jumper. Then, Bird hit Pippen with a nasty relocation, snapping Pippen's ankles before driving off the glass. But Pippen kept fighting back. A down screen freed him up for a jumper from the left elbow.
Gosh.
He was cashing in. However, when Bird sat, the Celtics offense hit a wall.
Oh my gosh. Like, he ran through like 3 screens, but did like a route type of thing. I be talking about running routes because people be doing that in basketball. In football, people run routes. In basketball, people run routes through screens and then they'll like go through a screen and then bake one way and then pop out. And you see right there, Larry Bird was running a route through screens, caught it. I'm going to rewind it back, but that was crazy. Caught it, and then just went right into one dribble. Scottie just fell on his face. Crazy. You see.
Baseline. Finding his sweet spots on offense.
Okay. And then the next play.
Boston's offense was firing on all cylinders. With Bird drawing so much defensive attention, Ainge slipped to the nail and splashed a clean jumper.
And then the next one, I think.
Bird hit Pippen with a nasty
this one.
Snapping Pippen's
oh my gosh. Like what? He was so late getting to him. Bird was just so quick.
When Bird sat, the Celtics offense hit a wall. Chicago capitalized on the missed opportunity.
Yeah, like, wow. He got to his spot. Scottie Pippen was so late. Knew he was so late. Recovered aggressively. And Bird was like, this is too easy. This man's out of bounds. Cash. Like, Bird is so fundamentally sound, he makes you look silly. He embarrasses you. And Pippen was not a bad defender. Even when he was a young pup. When he was a young bull. Pun intended. He was not a bad defender. So it's like, even though he had potential back then when he was a rookie, he still wasn't seasoned. He wasn't in the NBA long enough to really guard Bird and contain Bird. But even in his prime, he couldn't do it. He probably would have did a better job. He probably wouldn't be on the out of bounds when Bird took that one dribble and went through 5 screens. You know what I'm saying? It probably wouldn't happen that way. But Bird is a great player. He wasn't playing against no scrub. This is Hall of Fame Scottie Pippen. Even when he was a rookie, he was a great defender. So it's like, you could just tell they're not going against scrubs. I know like people talked about the 80s and the 90s, how they had bad players, but the stuff that Larry Bird was doing to players, he was doing this against good players. He did the same thing to Dominique Wilkins. Was Dominique Wilkins a bad defender? Let me know in the comments. I don't think so. So like he is a very great player. He's very gifted. The fact that he can do these things and make these great players look crazy says a lot. It says a lot.
Opportunities, with McHale doing his best to keep the Celtics afloat. McHale was feasting in the post, dominating Grant in single coverage and owning the paint. But the Celtics needed Bird, and once he returned, he was right back to business. He slipped his defender and knocked down a mid-range jumper. Bird was so dominant down low that the only way Chicago could stop him was by fouling, and Pippen was racking them up. With the Bulls' defense stretched thin, Danny Ainge took advantage, attacking the gaps and getting to the rim. But Jordan was keeping Chicago alive on the other end, asserting his dominance in the paint and reminding everyone that this was still his court too. Pippen came out aggressive.
Could y'all hear the video?
To get that much-needed separation
let me know in the comments.
Drilling a jumper from the right.
Whoever is watching right now, can you let me know if the audio is good? You can hear?
McHale's attempt didn't fall. Parrish was right there to
tell me what a yes.
Finish the second chance opportunity. The Celtics defense was locked in on closing off Jordan's driving lanes, but that left him wide open at the nail, and he was knocking down those mid-range shots with ease. Meanwhile, Bird was relentless in his off-ball movement, slipping away from Pippen and finding space to dominate the mid-range game.
Mid-range game, crazy.
Porzingis was getting it done in the paint, posting up and hitting a smooth hook shot over the Celtics defense. With Jordan attracting a double team, Oakley found himself wide open at the baseline and attacked the rim for an easy layup. However, Boston closed out the quarter with some fireworks. They pushed the pace in early offense, and DJ got a clean look from beyond the arc, splashing a 3 to extend the lead. But just as the Celtics...
DJ was underrated too.
Pippen had the final say. He beat the buzzer with a clutch jumper, trimming Boston's lead to 68-63 heading into halftime. Bird opened the third quarter in full facilitator mode, finding Parrish along the baseline for a thunderous jam. With the Bulls still packing the paint, McHale adjusted by kicking it out to DJ, who nailed a jumper near the nail. On the other end, Jordan missed a shot at the right elbow, but Oakley was right there to clean it up and capitalize on the second chance opportunity. But Bird was unbothered. He went around his screen and fired from the right elbow, cashing in yet another jumper. The Celtics continued to use McHale as a decoy. With McHale drawing a double team down low, DJ was left wide open under the basket for the easy bucket. Bird then relocated to the right elbow, and with Sellers arriving a step too late.
Are you saying the audio is fair but not great? So do you hear the guy talking? just reacting to a comment or talking to a viewer. If you're still in here, I don't think you're still in here. Dang. Okay, let me try to turn this up a little bit. Oh, it's all the way up. I don't know. That's weird. Okay, back into the video.
He finished through contact, showing his physicality and poise. Chicago responded by clearing out the strong side for Jordan, who hit a long jumper in rhythm. But the Bulls still had no solution for Bird's elbow shots. Every time he relocated, it was another clean look, and he was punishing them for it. DJ was threading the needle to Bird down low, and the Bulls were scrambling, unable to keep Bird from finding space. Meanwhile, Boston was sending doubles at Jordan, but that only left Pippen wide open on the weak side, and he took advantage, driving the baseline for a layup. But those screens freeing up Bird were a nightmare for Chicago's defense. Bird kept working his way through the screens, finishing through contact and drawing fouls. Jordan was doing everything he could to keep the Bulls in it. Even with defenders draped all over him, he was finishing with a tough floater, then powering his way through the Celtics' defense to get all the way to the rim. But Boston's offense kept slicing through the Bulls' double teams, with Bird and McHale finding DJ at the nail for a wide-open jumper. Bird was still the engine of the Celtics' attack, racking up 14 points in the quarter and pushing his game total to 34 points. To close the quarter, Bird capped it off with a relentless drive to the cup. Boston was firmly in control, with Bird dictating the flow and Chicago still searching for answers. The final quarter started with Jordan continuing to be a problem down low, muscling his way through defenders and finishing strong.
Jordan's so tough too.
And it was working as they exploited the Celtics' defense
He's the GOAT.
in the quarter. But once Bird checked back in, Boston's offense immediately started clicking. He led the break in transition, pushing the tempo and getting the Celtics back in rhythm. However, Jordan remained relentless, thriving in the mid-range. Off a Corzine down screen, he got the separation he needed and buried a smooth jumper. Despite the physicality, Bird kept finding ways to get to his spots. Even while being held, he rose up and drilled a long jumper
I wonder
right in
why.
Jordan's face, showing zero fear. And it was clear Bird wasn't 100%. He was playing on a bum ankle.
Let me know if it's better now.
Himself to keep Boston ahead. But with the Celtics showing help on Corzine down low, Pippen seized the opportunity, cutting straight to the cup for an easy layup. But Bird responded in typical Larry Legend fashion. Despite Pippen's defense, he fought through, got to his spot, and unleashed another long jumper. Jordan wasn't going away, though. He hit a tough mid-range jumper, keeping Chicago within striking distance. But as all eyes were on Bird, DJ seized the opportunity to drive straight to the hoop, finishing through contact with authority. Jordan kept attacking, this time slashing along the baseline with his trademark tenacity. Pippen then stepped up defensively, forcing a turnover that led to a 3-on-1 fast break for Chicago, but it was too little, too late. As the game wound down, Bird received a standing ovation as he headed to the bench, having delivered a 44-point masterpiece against the Bulls.
44 points.
Put the finishing touches on a 126-119 victory, and Bird's offensive explosion was the difference. And on this night in 1988, Larry Bird didn't just beat the Bulls. He left his mark on Scottie Pippen and the entire Chicago squad. Bird was ruthless, orchestrating the game, slipping screens, draining mid-range daggers, outsmarting defenders at every turn. Scottie Pippen might have been on his way to becoming one of the NBA's elite, but Bird made it clear that night, greatness doesn't just happen, it's earned. And Bird had already earned it. Bird's 44 points was a statement that no matter how hard you tried, when Larry Bird's on the floor, he's the boss. But before you go, if you enjoyed this breakdown of Bird's legendary performance, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more epic basketball stories. Let me know in the comments, which other legendary matchups should I break down next? Catch you in the next one.
Thanks for the feedback. Okay, so I know I need to do next time. Yeah, that was a great video, honestly. Showing how Larry Bird and Scottie Pippen were competing even back when Scottie was a rookie. And there's stories about Larry Bird talking trash to Scottie and what he said. And I feel like playing against Bird, playing against great guys like that, and then players that will give you the work and also tell you about it, really mold you into a great basketball player. And you can see the matchups and the stuff that Scottie had to go through before getting to that Hall of Fame status, that elite defender, two-way player. in the NBA. He had to go through battles with Larry Bird for Larry Bird to like really go at him and give him 44 points and also dominate him on the defensive end too. Because Scottie was missing a lot at first, and then Scottie kind of regained something, hit some mid-range jumpers. But Larry Bird still handed his ass to him. He had him on the floor. He had his face planted on the floor. So yeah, that was a great video. It was really refreshing to see that. You just see where Larry Bird, where Scottie Pippen started off, and then ended up being one of the greatest players or greatest defenders, two-way players of all time. Yeah, and you can just tell going through all those struggles in your rookie season, your second year, playing against the best players. It's like it's not really a struggle because it's like you're playing against the best competition, and it's like every year you adjust, and you get better and you get better. And you can see, even from the stats, you can see that Scottie got better every single year and became one of the most prominent players, two-way players of all time, and Jordan's right-hand man. And he has a lot to do with Jordan's 6 championships and his 6 championships, the 3 in a row twice. He has a lot to do with that. And I don't think Jordan would have been able to do it if they didn't have Scottie. So, and Scottie wouldn't have been able to do it if he didn't have Mike, but they needed each other. So it's like, you can see the growth of Scottie and the matchups he had to go against, and the people he had to go against, and is very, entertaining watching it. This is a great video. I like this concept. I would like to watch more videos like this, seeing, great players go against, like great players in their early years go against legends and see how the legends were just busting their ass, to say the least. Give them the work. So yeah, it was great. It was a great video to watch. Let me know if you guys want to watch any more videos like that, or like just suggest videos. Let me know. I'm about to sign out, probably come back, or maybe just you'll see me on Twitch. It's Thai Night M. I think I'm gonna start streaming on Twitch, reacting to Larry Bird, Jordan, other type of players, or just talking about basketball. But if there's anybody here that's in the comments right now, I didn't say there's any viewers, but if there's anybody in that wants to talk about Larry Bird or any type of basketball, or talk about the playoffs right now, I'm willing to talk, because yeah, I'm probably gonna do this stream and then try to go to Twitch, but maybe just like I can just sign out with the conversation, talking about basketball, talking about the NBA, because the NBA is definitely in a good place right now. People were talking about how they hate to see the same teams in the NBA finals, and now we have Indiana, we have OKC, and we have players. I never heard that he used to talk trash to Pippen, but I'm not surprised. Yeah, there is definitely a story about that. I can't remember what exactly he said. I could go and look for it. Let me search for it, and then I can play it. I'm gonna search for it real quick. I'm gonna do a quick intermission, and I'm gonna search for it. Hopefully, it doesn't lag or anything. But yeah, let me look for it. There definitely is a video of it, of Scottie talking about how Larry Bird used to trash talk him. Okay, let me see. Scottie. Wait, Larry Bird talking trash to Scottie. Okay, so yeah, this 1 minute clip. Let me know if it's like lagging when you guys watch the video. I'm about to play it though. Let me take this off the stage. Share screen. Let me show you the video. He talked about it recently, actually.
could come into this because I heard he was good at this. Biggest and best trash talker. I don't think anybody talks shit to you. But Scottie, who would you like? Who were the ones that, whether they were good at it or not, like who were the ones that were just gibber gabber the whole time?
I mean, Gary Payton talked a lot. But in my era, probably Larry Bird. You know, he would talk trash and do something tricky, or you know, him, Adrian Dantley, those kind of guys were like big trash talkers. And I can't even say AD was much of a trash talker as he was a dirty player. Man,
dirty like how? Like what? Like
I guess he was teaching me, but he would do that.
Like what did he teach you?
He would do the bag down, and then all of a sudden he'll hook your arm. And he was one of the strongest guys. I mean, he was strong as oak. And he'll just run to the basket, holding your arm. And he had the ugliest shot, you know, he's like throwing up. And he get a foul every time.
And he was short, right?
Short, about 6'4", but I mean, physically strong. Hey man, that dude could score the basketball. Y'all go check the record books. He probably got about 10,000 of them on me.
He was tough.
Oh, he was
He was like a longer video.
6'4" guy. Hello everyone, I spend a lot of time trying to get you guys nice videos, so please subscribe to this page.
Yeah, let me see. Scottie Pippen, and then Scottie definitely talked about what he said, what Bird said to him. But I'm trying to figure out where this video is, because he actually said what Larry Bird said to him, but I don't know why. Talking trash to Scottie. To Scottie Pippen. So it's like an interview, or this is just okay? Hold up. I heard him talking about it. Well, he mentioned Bird, but I'm pretty sure he said what Bird said to him. I just don't know. Okay, Byron Scott reveals the best trash talk story he heard from Michael Jordan and Larry Bird. Ugh. Why can't I find it? He goes into more detail about it. I don't know. It's not showing it, but yeah, there's definitely a story. Definitely a story about it. But yeah, I've heard about Larry Bird just going at Scottie Pippen every single time. Yeah. Yeah, I heard about Scottie going, Larry Bird going at Scottie every single time, especially when he was a rookie, and he was going at him. And I think that was just the more prominent matchup that Scottie had. He had to go against Larry Bird, because Jordan was not guarding Larry Bird because the positions just didn't make any sense. Larry Bird was bigger than Jordan. He would just put him in the post, and it would just been a bucket all game. So it's like Jordan was athletic. He could play defense, but it's like, why waste his energy? Scottie is going to have to do it. Scottie did the dirty work, and that's what it was. But yeah, I'm about to log off. Like, comment, subscribe. Whoever's watching this, thank you for watching. About to say a prayer. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Whoever's watching this video, blessing from the crowd, the heads to the soles of their feet. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Allow them to have a great week. Whatever they're going through, allow them to be stoic. Allow them to have a strong mind and a sound mind. And not to be fast, to be angry with somebody, but to be slow to anger and to have self-control and to be poised, no matter what they're doing. And whatever they're going through, there's always going to be a door that will open that you just didn't know that was possible. You didn't even know that door could open. So whatever success that you're looking for, and if it's not happening right now, just be patient. Don't get in the way of God's timeline. That's the thing. Don't get in the way of God's timeline. You have to really work, put him first, lean on him, and then everything will fall into place. So in the name of Jesus, I pray, bless everybody, allow them to be positive and be optimistic. Jesus' name I pray, amen. So stay blessed, stay lit, and I'm out. Larry Legend, what's good, bro? I see you cooking these dudes.
I always knew how good I was.
And we out.